So that's a little bit about my background of how I got into Buddhism. And then after I left the monastery, I entered the advanced training, if you will, and that's a long story that I'll save for another time, but I ended up meeting a wonderful woman that I fell in love with, and we got married, and I have two children, 2 boys now, but I needed to find some work, and an ex-monk friend of mine sent me Jon Kabat-Zinn's book, Full Catastrophe Living. I was actually working at a stroke center, which I was very fortunate to get a job working with people living with strokes and Parkinson's, MS, other orthopedic and neurological, and other neurological conditions. And I was beginning to teach them a little bit of some mindfulness meditation practice and saw that it was very helpful. And when I read Jon Kabat-Zinn's book sent by my ex-monk friend, I couldn't believe that someone had actually created a whole program using mindfulness meditation to work with people living with stress, pain, and illness. And I became very excited and said, this is what I got to do. And I wrote Jon Kabat-Zinn a letter, and I thanked him for this book. And this was actually before he was famous. This was in 1990 or 91. But he called me back and thanked me for my letter and invited me to come to UMass Medical Center and see their program. And my parents live right outside of Boston, and so I was actually planning a trip there in the next couple of months. And so when I went back, I met with Jon Kabat-Zinn and Saki Sundarelli and saw their program, and I just knew like this was the work I had been, this is going to sound kind of funny to say, born to do, or my life's work that was bringing together meditation as well as working with people with illness. One of the things that I didn't mention was that while I was living in the monastery, I was also very influenced by Stephen Levine, Ram Dass, and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and their work with the dying, and that fed sort of part of my own inner work of mindfulness of death that I had been also working with, struggling with since the age of 4, and also have spent, as part of Buddhist meditation, we spend a lot of time also on mindfulness of death practices, going to cemeteries and so forth. And so I actually began working with hospice as well towards the end of my years at the monastery. But when I found out about Jon Kabat-Zinn's work, it was sort of bringing together, working with people with illness, with stress, terminal illness, and using meditation that seemed to be just an amazing, wonderful fit for me, and I've been extraordinarily blessed. Perhaps in closing, we could just maybe sit for a couple of minutes and invite all of you viewers to get a little taste of mindfulness. So let's just take a moment to bring our awareness into our body and minds. Perhaps this is the first time today that we're stopping after a lot of doing and going from here to there. So taking some moments just to become present, feeling into our own bodies and minds. And just acknowledging how we're feeling. And then just gently shifting awareness to mindful breathing, focusing either in the abdomen or the tip of the nose. Find a place that works for you. If the awareness is in the abdomen, feeling how the belly is expanding on the inhalation and contracting on the exhalation. Or perhaps at the tip of the nose, feeling the contact or touch of the ear in the inner nostril, the tip of the nose, the upper lip. And just becoming mindful and aware of the breath, breathing normally, breathing naturally. Just becoming aware of the breath, breathing normal and natural, knowing that when you're breathing in, that you're breathing in. Knowing, breathing out as we're breathing out. Being present to the breath. As we're sitting, breathing in and breathing out, there may be different sounds or bodily sensations, thoughts and emotions. Just noticing this body alive, different senses coming into awareness, sounds, sensations, noticing how they come and go, noticing perhaps the wanderings of thoughts, emotions, acknowledging these different mind states and body states, and coming back to the breath in and the breath out. This being just a very short meditation, let's just take a moment as we conclude in congratulating ourselves that we took this time to become present. May we know this is an act of love. May we be at peace, and may all beings, may they all be at peace. Thank you.